Okay, so how do we create a React project?
Command line.
Okay, yes, window one, cmd, yes, I've opened the command line.
And then create folders as cd,
Yes,
desktop or
any of the folder we want, so let's go to desktop and then
and mkdir.
good, make there. And today we are going to be
For the
talking
name.
about, so what is the last project we did? What was the last project?
Yeah, WhatsApp group.
Okay, so we have
Create
talked
a new.
about default and named imports, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so today's topic is going to be hooks. Okay, it's one of the most important topics in React. So we'll see what are hooks. Okay, so now I am inside hooks folder. What do we do next?
Now you have to create read,
Create
read
v
as read,
and then
and then dot.
dot. It's saying create read is not recognized. Okay, enter my dash g. So now it's going to install read. I don't know why it's saying it's not recognized, but anyways, this command is going to install it.
Alright, hooks.
Okay, let's do it again. Why is it saying create read is not recognized? Let me open a new terminal. Okay, create dash read. Why is it saying it's not recognized?
Um,
Okay, let's do another approach. Create read is not recognized. Why is that? Although I have installed it. Okay, let's check it out. Why is it saying that it's not recognized? Okay, let's create a folder. Why does it say? Let me search it here.
I mean, I heard there was a whole a worldwide outage for the internet. Is that does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, it can, but
Because even at work today, our laptops and computers, everything that we saved, nothing was logging in.
यार
what?
सर हो सकता है क्योंकि सर्वर भी इसका इंटरनेशनल बना हुआ ना या
Yes,
इंटरनेशनल.
it can be the reason. Could you guys please try it out on your laptops?
Yes, sir, let me try.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't even. It's not even loading my website.
Why is okay? Although I've installed it, it's still saying it's not recognized.
यार
This is
एक बार
something new.
तेरा भी ना होगा ना तो इसको यही सेम इशू होगा.
Yes, this is something new. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, it
यार
is on the
चैट भी सर
news.
डाउन हुआ हुआ है अभी.
It was on the news that there's a worldwide outage. So even at work today, it was a really hard time to use our technology.
Yeah, so it can be the reason, but let's check it out. You guys check it out, and then we can
Yeah.
proceed further. अच्छा, तो फिर इसका कोई और सीन चल रहा है। चलो एक काम करते हैं, लेट्स डू वन मोर थिंग कि लेट्स ट्राई द VS Code's built-in terminal. cd user cd hp, then cd desktop, and then cd hooks. Okay, let's try it here. No. What's up with this?
AI में डाल के देखिए
जी जी,
क्या
वो मैं डाल के देख रहा हूँ, लेकिन वो कह रहा है कि यही जो हमने किया वो कह रहा है यही करो. Why is it still not working?
आपको दूसरे सारे प्रोजेक्ट ही थी मैं
Exactly.
ये सब कुछ
Exactly.
यार पाकिस्तान में सिर्फ फायरवॉल ना लगा दी हो आर्मी ने तब से तो आया नहीं बंदे
Okay, I think yeah, it can. I think this command is working. npx create wheat at the rate latest and then dot.
Mine is not working either, though. Is it only yours working?
मेरा काम है ना मेरा तो हो गया
Okay, no, this one's working. This command is working. Or it's kind of like the same command, but this one is working for me, not the other one. Let me check it out whether the wheat has updated their policy or not. Maybe that could be the reason. No, there's no news about updating their policy or something. Let's see whether this works or not. It's still making the project. Let's see. It doesn't take this long usually. It hardly takes around 20 to 30 seconds and it's done.
so something going on high level
Yeah, that could be the reason. In fact, in Pakistan, there's always something going on high levels.
yeah
Maybe they didn't fix the outage for you,
Sorry.
for Pakistan. Because they were saying they're fixing. When it was working,
yeah
perfectly, you have Snapchat too?
no
They were,
Snapchat is lagging
yeah.
Well, there's surely something up is up with the internet. To be honest, in the past week, it was not working in my office as well. Neither is it working in my PCs in my home.
something is
Let me pause the recording so it doesn't record and the recording will go because it's okay. So let's open it with VS Code. What does it mean that code is not recognized?
no
Okay, let's do the other way. So I'm gonna open VS Code and file and open folder and then we can this hooks too, yeah. Okay, so first we need to start this project. How do we start the project? How do we start the React project?
Or like npm run dev.
Yes, npm run dev. npm, yeah.
वीडियो वो लैग हो रही है, मैं दोबारा आपको शायद हो जाएगा.
ठीक. And then we'll control click, it should open it up. And yeah, perfect. Okay, now tell me, what are the files we need to delete? In the source folder, what are the files we need to delete?
App.css.
Okay, yeah, assets, and then app.css, and then what more? Index.css, yeah. And let's delete them. And then inside the app.jsx, we are going to delete all of this code. And how do we generate the boilerplate?
RAFCE.
Good, RAFCE.
My screen is lagging too. I'm gonna
Mine too. No, मैंने करका ही उधर से किया है, पाकिस्तान से.
Oh.
I think it's not just the internet, it's everything. My PC is also lagging. Although internet's working, yeah, internet's working fine. So why is it lagging? Okay, RFCE. And the main.jsx, what do we need to remove?
Import index.json.
Exactly, because we have deleted it. So let's remove this. Okay, yeah, so let's see, what do we have? We should have an empty canvas. Perfect. Okay, now today's topic is really important. It's one of the most, you can say, advanced level of topics in React. So the topic we have in hand is hooks. So what are hooks?
Voice आ रही थी क्यों?
No.
Is it is it
issue कर रहा है वो.
is it okay now?
Yeah, I can hear, but my screen is lagging. Okay.
Okay, so let me see the internet. Yeah, internet's working fine. The speed is also good. So why is it lagging? Okay, anyways, if you encounter any problem, please tell. Okay, so the topic we are going to discuss today, inshallah, is called hooks. So what are hooks? Hooks are simply functions in React. Okay, they're the functions that change React. Okay, so let me first tell you something about React. That how, why, and how is React fast? Okay, so there are two things. This is DOM. What is DOM?
Data object model or
No,
I think so.
no, not data object model. What is it? Document object model.
Document.
Okay,
Okay.
this is what JS uses. And then we have virtual DOM. This is what React uses. Okay, so what is the difference between DOM and virtual DOM? This is one of the interviews question as well. Okay, so for example, these are the lines of code, like these are the elements we have in our website. Okay, so in actual DOM, in real DOM, if let's say this thing changes, let me change the color. So let's say if this thing changes, what's going to happen is all of these elements are going to be refreshed. Okay, if only one of these things change, all of the elements here are going to be refreshed. This is what DOM basically do. Whereas in virtual DOM, what happens is virtual DOM makes a copy of an actual DOM. Okay, in React, this is how everything's working. So virtual in React, virtual DOM makes a copy of the actual DOM. And for example, if this thing changes in virtual DOM, React compares the actual DOM and the virtual DOM, and it's only going to refresh this part of the code that changes, leaving every other part. So what is the benefit of this?
सर जिससे जो हमारा ओरिजिनल कोड है वो रिफ्रेश भी होगा जो चीज़ चेंज थी तो वही रिफ्रेश होगा सर.
So what is the benefit? Like, what's the plus point here? Like, how is it useful? Why is it such a big deal?
Nothing changes.
Exactly, nothing changes. So what's the big deal if nothing changes? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, what's the benefit?
It's easier for you.
लाइक
No.
डिफ़ॉल्ट डॉक्यूमेंट रिफ्रेश नहीं होगा तो सर वो उस पे प्रोसेसर पे ज़्यादा लोड नहीं होगा सर
Exactly,
उससे.
exactly, good. So if there's no load on the processor, what's happened to our website?
So will it be faster?
Exactly, exactly. This is the plus point we have. In actual DOM, everything is going to load, and we need more computational power to reload everything. Like, it's going to take time. Whereas in virtual DOM, if one thing changes, only this thing is going to be refreshed, leaving every other thing. Okay, so this way our website gets a lot faster as compared to a simple website in JavaScript. So that's why most of the businesses, most of the websites are now being built on React because of the speed. So why, what's this has to do with hooks? Now if you have virtual DOM, it works a little different from actual DOM. Okay, if you want to change virtual DOM, you need to have some extra functions, additional functions, and those functions are called hooks. Okay, is the theoretical part of hooks clear?
सॉरी सर रिपीट कीजिएगा
Okay,
ये
yeah,
लास्ट वाली
yeah.
लाइन.
Okay, so actual DOM and virtual DOM work a little different. Okay, we have worked with DOM. Okay, and we know how to change the actual DOM, but in the virtual DOM things work a little different from an actual DOM. So in order to change virtual DOM, you need special functions. In order to change virtual DOM, you need special functions, and those special functions are called hooks. Okay, so basically hooks
ओके.
are those functions that change your virtual DOM. Okay,
ऑलराइट.
okay. So let's talk about our first hook, and one of the most used hook in React. Like, this hook is used more than any hook that React has. Okay, so this hook is called, let me first make a component. I'm gonna say state. So the hook is called use state hook. Okay, every hook is going to be start with use. Whenever you see use, anything starting with use in React, it means that it's a hook. So I'm going to say state dot jsx. Okay, how do we generate the boilerplate now?
RAFCE.
RAFCE. And here I'm going to say h1. But we don't see it. Why can't we see it?
because we have to call it in on the entry point like
Very good.
app.jsx.
We need to call this in app.
Yeah.
And how do we call it?
Empty fragments
We already have
like oh
empty
tags,
fragment.
sorry, tags
Yes, tags, and then
inside, and then state.
perfect. Now, is state a default import or a named import?
That's name import. Sorry, no, this default.
Default import. So let's see, do we have the state? Perfect. Okay, Now we want to include tailwind in our project. How do we do it?
Tailwind, like in through command line
Yes,
of the Visual Studio. Yeah.
very good. First we need to go to tailwind, then the docs. We discussed about including tailwind, right?
Yes sir, लास्ट प्रोजेक्ट में हमने की थी.
Yeah.
Yes. So framework guides.
नेक्स्ट
Next.js.
ईयर.
This we already did. Now let's do this one. So the terminal, not in this one because in this terminal our server is being ran. We are going to create a new terminal using this plus icon and paste it here. Why isn't it working? Okay. And the next step, we need to create this in the root of our project, not in the source, in the root of our project. That is the main folder. And how do we get this? Simply click outside of any any folder. So you're gonna go inside the root, click on this file icon, paste the file name, and then all the content. And then we need to create this globals.css inside the source folder. And inside this we're gonna have this, and then we need to call globals.css into our entry point. And what is our entry point?
app.jsx.
Yes, good. So import, it's in the same folder. So globals.css, it's still being installed and I don't know why it's taking so long, but we need to wait for it to install in order to proceed. Press Ctrl C, it'll stop, and I'm gonna delete all of the files here. uh this one, the one we created here, and then this global.css as well, and this one as well, and we should have, yeah, okay. Okay, so what is useState? I need you to listen carefully. So useState is a hook that is used for storing the values and triggering re-render. Okay, so what does it mean? Let's do practical and let's see what it means. So what I want to do is I want to have h1 here, we already do, so it's going to say salam world. Okay, and then we will have a button here and it's going to say change title. So I think you guys now would have an idea what do we want to do. When we click on this, we want to change this. Okay, when we click on this button, we want to change this title. So what do we need to do? Obviously we need to perform an event, and I think you guys do remember what events are, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in simple JavaScript what we did was we give a class to this button, and then we go to in our JavaScript, and then we do document.query selector, and then we do all of the functionality. but the only problem is this is virtual DOM, so document.query selector does not work here. Okay, but it's a
Mhm.
lot easier than what we used to do. So if you want to add an event on a button or on anything, what you are going to do is inside the button you're going to say, let's say, which event do we want to perform?
Like click.
Click. So we're going to say on click, and that's it. It'll attach an event listener on this button. What if we want to do on mouse over? So what can we say? We can say,
Over, sir?
yeah, we can say on mouse enter, like when mouse enters. Or
Or
what do we want to do if we want to, have the keyboard event? So we can say on key down or on key press or on key up. It's that simple. Okay. Okay,
or
so we want to have click event, so we're gonna say on click. And what do these curly braces represent?
no, we return into JavaScript.
Exactly. Why is that? Because click is going to contain a function, and functions are
Mm-hmm.
not implemented in HTML, they are implemented in JavaScript. So inside this we are going to create a function. Now this is an important point. There are two ways you can implement functions. One way is inline. Okay, if you
Mm-hmm.
want to do an inline function, you can directly write it here. And other ways, we do internal function. Like what do I mean? Let's do inline functions first. Okay, you need to remember one thing about the inline functions. If you want to perform an inline function, you first need to invoke it. What do I mean when I say invoke it?
Like you
Parentheses.
have to call it or
Yes, like this.
something.
This is invoking. And when are you going to do it? When you are performing inline function.
Inline.
First
All
thing.
right.
Second thing is you are going to invoke it if your function has a parameter involved. There are only two scenarios when you are going to invoke it. First one is what? When you are doing inline functions. And second is what? When you have a function that has
Parameter.
a, yeah, parameter involved. Let's do both of these practical. So I'm gonna say, for the time being, I'm gonna say console.log click, and let's see whether it's working or not. Let's open the console. Is it working?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, this is the inline function. Let's do the internal function. I'm gonna say whenever we click on this button is going to call another function. Let's say, let's give it a name of, you can name it whatever you want. Let's say I'm gonna say change data. So whenever this button is clicked, which function is going to call?
Change data.
Change data. Do we have any function named change data here?
No,
So
sir.
what's going to
No.
happen?
It's gonna throw an error.
Exactly, good. It's going to throw an error if you were to go in the errors.
Yeah, change data not found like
Exactly,
that, I think
it's
so.
saying change data is not defined because
Not
we haven't
defined.
defined it. Perfect. So where do we define change data?
Like outside the state.
Uh-huh. What was the second rule? After the return statement it's HTML, but before
Mm-hmm.
the return statement it's
It's a JavaScript.
JavaScript. So before
Yeah.
the return statement but inside the state. Okay. So I'm going to create a function and it should be named as
Change
change
data.
data. There you go. So I've created a function here. Okay, I've created a function and it's going to say console.log clicked from internal function. So save it. It's not even saving it. Let's see. Is it working? Perfect. Okay.
Mm.
So is it clear the inline and internal function?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's talk about parameters as well. Let's say this change data is going to take from us a parameter. So let's say name. So I'm gonna say, is going to say in template strings is going to say salam dollar curly braces and name. So I need to give this change data a name. So I'm gonna say, let's say Ali. So save it. But the only problem is, let's say without even clicking is going to give me what? Salam Ali. Like I haven't clicked it, whereas I have defined that this function should only run if I click on this button. Now if I were to click on this button, it's not going to work. Can you tell me why?
Because we called it only one time.
No, we said that whenever we click on this button, I need to call change data. I before the starting of this topic, I've said there are two scenarios when you're going to invoke the functions. What are those scenarios? First one is if it was inline function,
Inline.
and second one was
And parameter.
exactly if it had a parameter. So does this function have a parameter?
Yes.
So we need to do what?
No.
Invoke it. So we need to invoke it. So this way is going to work as we expect it to work. Okay, so if you have a parameter or your function is inline, in these two scenarios you are going to invoke your function and call your function. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is, let me remove all of it so we can start fresh. I need to change this title. How do I do it? After I click on it, how do I do it?
Like we have to put an event listener
Very good.
on the button.
How do we do it?
Right on click
Very good.
equals, yeah, curly bracket.
Yes. And what do we do inside these curly brackets?
Internal or
Internal. Internal.
internal, right? Parentheses.
Uh-huh. Parentheses are only going to be involved when we have parameter or inline.
Parameter or
So we don't have a parameter. So
function name.
let's call it maybe,
Function name.
let's call it handle change. Okay. So now we need to do what?
And we need to create a function name.
Very good.
Handle change before the return.
Very good.
Equal to parentheses.
Perfect. Now,
console.log.
no, this time we are not going to console log. This time we need to see the change here.
Oh, change here.
So what should we do? Now comes the really interesting part. So think, how can we do it? Okay, I need you to answer me something. Can this thing that is hard coded, I've hard coded this thing, I've written it with my own hands, like, can it be changed? Something that is hard coded, it can't be changed.
No, sir.
What can be changed?
And dynamically.
Yeah, what can be changed? Do you guys remember the counter project
Yeah.
in JavaScript? We've written 0 before. Okay, when we were designing, we've written 0. So 0 wasn't being changed. So what did we do? Yeah, if you guys remember the counter project, so what did we do? We took a variable. So I'm going to say let title is equals to salam. So instead of writing it salam world here, I'm going to say whatever the value is inside the title, write it here. How can we do it?
By curly braces.
Very good. And then title. So what are we going to see? We are going to see whatever is inside the title. Okay. So now what we are going to say is whenever this button is being clicked, handle change is called. So inside the handle change, what I'm going to say is I'm going to say that whenever it's clicked, change the value of title. How do we do it? Simply I'm going to say title is equals to new title. Is this okay?
Yes, sir.
Does it make sense? Like whenever we click on the button, this function is being called, and the functionality of this function is going to change the value of this title to new
New
title.
title.
So what do you think would happen if I were to click on this button?
Like new title
It
will
should say new
not
title,
change to
right?
the new title.
Yes, it should say new title, but it's not. Why is that? Because of this virtual DOM. So because React doesn't work like the simple JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, it's a little different. If we were to be inside the actual like simple JavaScript, this one would be enough. But since React works differently, so we need to update our state, update our component. So for that, we need to do what? We need to use state hook. So I need you to listen carefully. This title only holds the state. Like it can't do anything else. It can only hold the state. Okay? But we need to do two things. We need to hold the state or hold the value, as well as we need to trigger re-render. Now what does re-rendering means? What do you think re-rendering would refer to?
Re-rendering means to refresh or
Exactly, kind
something.
of like refresh, but not all of the page,
Mm.
just the thing that is being changed. For example, in all of this, only this part is going to be refreshed. So this thing is only going to be re-rendered. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So this thing, this variable can do the re-rendering part. It can hold the state, but it can't re-render it. So that's why what are we going to use?
State use
Yes,
hooks.
we are going to use a hook that's called useState. So let's see what are hooks. So I'm gonna say console.log. We want to see what state is. So I'm gonna say use state. Now use state is coming from React. So is use state a default import or named?
Mm. Yeah.
Named or default?
This is name.
Named. Yes, because it has curly braces around it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's save it. So what is use state?
Use the
Yes,
function.
it's a function. Good. So if it's a function, what can we do? We can call it. So how do we call it? Simply put parentheses here. So here you go. I need you to take a look, like really good look here. So use state is a function that is going to return you what?
An array.
Very good, an array. And this array is going to have two things. First one is what?
Index or
No, it's the value.
undefined. Yeah, it's a
Is the
value.
value.
Or
Okay, this is what the variable. This is going to do the variable part. Like this part
mm-hmm.
is going to be achieved in the first parameter. And the second thing is a function. And this function is going to change this value. Okay, so use state is a function that is going to return you two things. Sorry, that is going to return you an array, and that array is going to have two things. First one is the value, and second one is the what?
Function
Function that is going to
who can change
change
the
that
value.
value. Perfect. Okay, so is that clear? What is use state? Use state is a function that is going to return you an array, and that
Mm.
array is going to have two things. First one is the
Two
value,
things.
second one is the function that is
Function.
going to change the value. Let me write it here. Use state is a function.
Function.
It returns what?
An array.
Array. And that array has how many things?
Two things.
First one is
Value.
very good. Second one is
A function which can change that
yes,
value.
that changes the value. So this is what use state is. So now what we are going to do is, and how are we going to use the use state? So as you said that use state returns you an array. So I'm going to say I'm going to destructure that array, and I think you guys do know what destructuring is, right?
Yes.
So destructuring is what? Breaking down an array or an object. So I'm gonna say const. So useState returns me what? An array. First
Uh,
thing is the value. So I'm gonna put, let's say, I'm gonna say name. You can name it whatever you want. So first thing is the value. So basically this name is going to be inside this first part. And second thing is the function. So for the function you can name it whatever you want, okay, whatever you want. But again the standard practice is you're gonna put set and whatever the name of variable is. So what is the name of variable?
Name.
Name. So we're gonna say set name. So both of these things are coming from where?
Use state.
Very good. Use state, and it's a function, and that is it. This is the syntax of use state. So inside this function you are going to put your initial state. Like what do you want to show users for the first time? What do you want to show them?
salam.
Very good. So we're going to put salam.
Typo salam.
Perfect. And that's it. This is exactly like the variable, but use state can hold as well as change the variable. So this salam is going to be stored where?
In the name.
Very good, in the name. Perfect. So instead of title, let's see. So I'm not going to see anything right now. So instead of title here, what are we going to render here?
Name.
Perfect. And here you go. But this time we can change name. And what is going to change this name? Who is going to change this name? Very good. Perfect. So we are going to say whenever this function is called, and it is called only when this button is clicked. So we're going to say when this button is called. So what do we want to do? We want to change the name. So name is going to be changed by.
Set name.
So what are we going to say? We're going to say.
Set
And what is set name?
is a function.
Very good. So the function. And inside this function, what do we want to do? We want to change name to what?
We have to sign another value.
Very good.
Name, we have to change the name.
Very good. So let's say change title. Perfect. And let's see if it works or not. Is it going to work? It should work after all this hard work. So let's see. Okay. So why do we have to do all of this tedious process? Because although it's not that much, so basically what's happening here is if this thing is changed, this is not going to be refreshed. Okay. Whereas in simple JavaScript, if this were to be changed, this was to be changed, all of every element inside this page is going to be refreshed, again costing us our computational power, thus lagging our website. So React says that if this thing is being changed, only this is going to be refreshed, nothing else. Okay. So let's do one last thing and then we can sum up this class. So what do I want to do is, if the title, if let's remove this because we don't have anything to do with this. So if the value of name is salam, it should say change title, but if it's change title, it should say salam. What can we do?
Sorry, sir.
Yeah, if the value of name is salam, it should say change title when we click. If it's change title, it should say name, it should say salam.
We can use the condition.
Very good. So inside the function we're going to put condition. So if, and then
Name is equal
very good,
to
double equals, because we are comparing.
double equal.
So if name is equals to salam, we can say what?
Then set name.
Very good, set name to be changed.
Change.
Else
Name.
no.
Else set name.
Very good.
Set name. Salam.
Perfect. Okay, any questions?
This one is tricky, sir. We have to do it
Exactly,
again.
you have to do a lot of practice. I'm gonna say it again, this is the most used hook in React. Like you're gonna see it so much that you won't forget it, to be honest. It's so much, it's that much used in React.
So
Okay.
we have multiple hooks in React.
Yeah, we have around 7 to 8 hooks in React. and these are only the hooks that are being used. In fact, there are around 12 to 15 hooks.
Use state hook. Alright.
Use state is one of those 12 to 15 hooks, but this one is the most used hook in React. Okay, so this is the
Alright.
most simple project that we can do in React using use state. So this is your homework, plus you need to make a counter using use state.
Counter means increment of
Yeah,
value.
increment, decrement, and reset.
Alright.
Okay, so this is your homework. Any questions?
Mm, no.
Okay,
No.
so yeah, you guys can go then, and we'll meet tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Allah
thank
Hafiz.
you. Allah Hafiz. Allah
Allah
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.